This officer-involved shooting resulted in the death of Michael Lee Wright. Wright, who was 40 years old at the time of this shooting, had a criminal history which included arrests for felony battery, domestic battery, simple battery, driving under the influence, and drug possession. On April 28, 2025, patrol officers responded to Wright's trailer located in the 8900 block of Normandy Boulevard to assist Jacksonville Fire and Rescue as they treated Wright for an apparent seizure related to a narcotics overdose. Wright admitted to heavy drug use, including consumption of cocaine and marijuana. He refused transport to the hospital for a medical evaluation despite paramedics' insistence that it was necessary. Wright became combative with care providers, and officers had to handcuff him and put him on a stretcher. While at the hospital, Wright became aggressive with law enforcement and medical staff. His actions forced multiple members of the hospital staff, law enforcement, and JFRD personnel to hold him down until he could be restrained to a bed and sedated. On May 3, 2025, Wright's girlfriend, who lived with Wright in his trailer, decided not to spend the night at their shared residence. She left and slept elsewhere that evening. On the morning of May 4th, Wright's girlfriend returned to the trailer with the intent of collecting some of her personal belongings. When Wright's girlfriend arrived at the trailer, Wright was combative. He threw objects at her and her vehicle. Because of Wright's aggressive behavior, Wright's girlfriend left the property without her belongings. She called for police assistance, requesting that an officer accompany her to the trailer to retrieve her property. At 10:40 a.m. on May 4th, Officer P. Burke was dispatched to assist Wright's girlfriend with the collection of her property from the trailer. Officer Burke drove his marked patrol vehicle to the trailer while following behind the girlfriend. Once he arrived in front of the trailer, Wright, who was already outside on his porch, armed himself with a pair of scissors and ran up to the patrol vehicle while holding the scissors in an aggressive posture. He attempted to jump on the hood of the vehicle and began banging on it. Wright then repeatedly struck the officer's driver's side door. Officer Burke put his car in reverse and backed the vehicle down the street, away from Wright. However, Wright walked towards the vehicle, still armed with the scissors. Officer Burke then shifted his car into drive and began driving forward. The front of the patrol vehicle struck Wright, rolling him onto the hood. Then, when Officer Burke stopped his vehicle, Wright fell onto the ground. At some point during this interaction, Wright dropped the scissors that he had been holding, and he removed the eyeglasses that had been on his face, placing them in his hand. As Officer Burke exited his vehicle, armed with his JSO issued 9mm handgun, Wright jumped up and began running towards Officer Burke. Officer Burke yelled commands to Wright to put it down. Wright continued to close in on Officer Burke, and Officer Burke fired at Wright. Wright fell to the ground, throwing the eyeglasses he was holding as he fell. Once Wright was handcuffed, Officer Burke began rendering emergency medical aid until rescue arrived. Paramedics transported Wright to an area hospital for treatment of his gunshot wounds. However, Wright died at the hospital.
Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, Preston.
Hi, I just need a police escort. I'm trying to get some of my possessions out of my house, and we pulled up to get it, and I'm sorry, he started being violent, like, as soon as we pulled up, and so I just need a police escort so I can get some of my possessions out.
Sure. What's the address?
Put it down! Shots fired, shots fired, shots fired! Suspect down, suspect down! Hey, fuck you, nigga! Fuck you, nigga! Fuck you!
Crime scene detectives responded to the scene during the investigation and collected the scissors with which Wright had been armed. They recovered the scissors from the ground underneath Officer Burke's patrol vehicle.